Dark chocolate. It starts in a jungle. The cacao tree, Theobroma cacao, grows within a narrow band around the equator. Its name in Greek literally means food of the gods. The Maya and Aztec civilizations were drinking it long before anyone thought to eat it, ground cacao mixed with water, chili, and spices. Today, dark chocolate is defined by what it leaves out. No milk solids. High cacao content, usually somewhere between 60 and 95%. A good dark chocolate carries flavor notes you'd expect in fine wine. It snaps cleanly and it melts slowly. Milk chocolate. The most eaten chocolate on earth. It was invented in Switzerland in 1875 by a man named Daniel Peter, who had the idea of mixing dried milk powder into chocolate. The milk powder was supplied by his neighbor Henri Nestlé, who went on to build one of the largest food companies in the world. Milk chocolate has a lower cacao content than dark. It melts faster than dark, and it's sweeter. The rest is sugar, cocoa, butter, and milk solids, which is what gives it that softer, creamier texture. Some milk chocolates carry a very slight caramel note, especially those that use a process where the milk is heated during production. Milk chocolate is where most people's relationship with chocolate begins. White chocolate. People argue about whether this is even chocolate at all. It contains no cacao solids, no cocoa powder, no chocolate liquor. What it does contain is cocoa butter, which is the fat pressed out of the cacao bean during processing. That's why it's ivory-colored rather than brown. Nestle introduced white chocolate commercially in the 1930s, initially as a way to use up surplus cocoa butter. It melts almost instantly on the tongue, even faster than milk chocolate. Ruby chocolate. It's naturally pink, not dyed, not flavored with berries, just pink. Ruby chocolate was developed by the Swiss-Belgian company Barry Callebaut and unveiled in Shanghai in 2017. The color and flavor come from a specific variety of ruby cacao bean, processed in a way that preserves naturally occurring compounds that would normally be broken down during fermentation. The result is a chocolate that tastes slightly fruity, a little tart. The texture is smooth and melts quickly, similar to white chocolate. Pastry chefs started using it everywhere: tarts, bonbons, ganaches. It's still rare, and it's still surprising. Blonde chocolate. Also called dulce and caramelized white chocolate. The story behind it starts with a mistake. In 2006, a pastry chef at Valrhona named Frédéric Baud left a batch of white chocolate on a warm water bath and forgot about it. Hours later, the chocolate had turned golden brown, with a smell like biscuits and caramel. He tasted it, and then he spent 7 years figuring out how to replicate it reliably. What happens during that slow heating is a Maillard reaction, the same browning process that gives bread its crust and coffee its roast. It has a richness that white chocolate doesn't, and a gentleness that dark chocolate doesn't. Gianduja. It's the reason Nutella exists. In the early 19th century, Napoleon's trade blockades cut off much of Europe's access to cacao. Local chocolatiers found a solution. They stretched their dwindling cacao supply by blending it with finely ground hazelnuts from the nearby Piedmont region. It's sold in blocks, as bonbon fillings, and as a spread. The name comes from a carnival character from Turin called Gianduja, a symbol of Piedmontese identity. Every time you eat something hazelnut chocolate flavored, this is where it started. Modica Chocolate. This is the oldest style of chocolate still being made today. It comes from the city of Modica in Sicily, and the technique hasn't fundamentally changed in centuries. The Aztec method of preparing cacao, mixing it with cold water and spices without applying heat, was brought to Sicily when Spain controlled southern Italy in the 16th century. No cocoa butter is added. No milk. Often no additional fat at all. That slowly dissolves on the tongue. In 2018, Modica Chocolate was granted PGI status by the European Union Protected Geographical Indication, meaning it can only officially be called Modica Chocolate if it's made there. Raw chocolate. The idea behind it is simple. Process the cacao bean as little as possible. Raw chocolate skips or significantly reduces the roasting stage. The flavor is different. Less of the deep roasted notes you expect, and more of something earthy, sometimes floral, occasionally bitter in a sharp, almost vegetal way. Raw chocolate tends to come in smaller, artisanal batches. It does taste noticeably different, and that's a legitimate reason to seek it out. Single origin chocolate. Single origin chocolate is made from beans grown in one specific place. That place might be a country, a region, or a single farm. And because cacao is extraordinarily sensitive to its environment, the soil, the rainfall, the shade, the microclimate, the flavor changes dramatically depending on where it's grown. Single origin chocolate is the fine dining version of the category. Drinking chocolate. Drinking chocolate is made from real melted chocolate. It's thick enough that a spoon leaves a mark. Historically, this is the original chocolate consumption format. Drinking chocolate fell out of fashion when cocoa powder was invented in 1828, making a lighter, cheaper version easier to produce at scale. But it never fully disappeared, and it's been quietly returning in specialty cafes that serve it the way it was meant to be consumed. It's closer to the original experience of chocolate than anything sold in a wrapper.